Okay, I'm going to give a quick tour of all the wood we have on the property. This is a huge pile of cedar that I split this past summer. This is some more of that cedar that a friend of mine is using to make fairy doors. These are limbs that I cut to burning length. And then in the old woodshed we have a beautiful pile of arbutus, long burning dense wood. Big leaf maple, also pretty good burning wood. Over here, pile of bits and pieces that I'm going to use for kindling. Some more arbutus over here. Bits and pieces of cedar that Karen's been using. This over here is going to be a new woodshed. This is the new woodshed. And in front of it I've got some wood that we milled, drying, including some big slabs of fir. In the woodshed you'll see two humongous piles of fir drying, pretty much ready to burn now. This is our burn pile. This is another huge pile of arbutus I dragged down from up the hill on our property. Some more fir drying. That'll go into the newest woodshed I'm going to build right there. That's what those cedar blocks are for. Some more fir drying. That'll go into the new woodshed. I'm going to build a roof over this area, hang a heavy bag there for working out with the kids. Over here we've got a bit of a wood processing area that contains a lot of pecker poles that we've been using for construction projects, including the woodshed, the newer woodshed. Behind the pecker poles we've got a huge pile of cedar drying. We may use it for Karen's kindling business. The old site of their fort. And you can see what we've done with some of those pecker poles. We're using them for posts in the garden fence. We also use them in the chicken run. Over here is a kindling drying rack that Karen and I built, and he dries kindling there before boxing it to sell. And then if we head up the hill, this is all thick forest. We cleared it. I cut quite a few of the trees. Here we cut some with a handsaw. I used the chainsaw. My buddy Kyler dropped some of the bigger ones with a bigger chainsaw. And we got a tree guy named Mike Sermon in, and he cut the really big ones and the troublesome ones, including a leaning arbutus, which has been bucked and is drying right here. There was also some fir up here, drying over here. And these really long, beautiful fir sections, nice tight grain on it. I'm hoping to mill that if we can get it out of here. My friend Taiju might be able to get it out with his crane truck. That's the stump of that huge arbutus. It's a burn pile. We're going to torch that as soon as the rainy season comes and it's safe. Another pile of fir rounds, yet another. Those will be brought down the property and split. Probably not anytime soon though. I'll cover them this winter. And yet another nice fir trunk that I'm hoping to drag out and mill. Not going to be easy, but if we can get the crane truck up here, then we'll give it a try. Now walking across toward the other side of our property, you can see another pile of arbutus rounds. There was a small arbutus tree that we No, actually the windstorm took it down 2 winters ago, as well as that fir. Now, speaking of the windstorm, you'll see this enormous root ball here. That was a fir that fell in that windstorm 2 Decembers ago. Kyler and I managed to get the trunk of it out, and we slabbed it. Those slabs are drying in front of my newer woodshed. That was that. Smaller one came here, and we bucked that. It was lying out here, and Kyler and I bucked it and dragged those rounds out. And this is a nice area that was cleared by that fall. Don't exactly know what I'm going to do with this bit of the property. No rush. Over here, there were 3 smallish firs that came down. We've already taken some of that wood out. The rest of it is here, waiting to be taken out. And here's the stump of that humongous maple, some of which Kyler and I slabbed 2 years ago, some of which we burned. Now, if we cut through here, we'll get near our famous twin trees, which are really my favorite trees on the property. You can see the way they're intertwined. A giant fir and a giant arbutus. And yet another pile of cedar rounds and a bit of birch. Now, we're behind the coop. There's the pool we use for water harvesting, rainwater harvesting. And this is our new garden fence gate, which we just built. You can see we've got one more post to go up. Karen's going to put that up. A couple of sections of fence to attach. Now, I'll take you over here. Sounds like something's going on down the property. And here's the house, back of the house. And you can see the drainage pipe we put in. It's done, but we haven't fully covered it. We're going to build stone walls around the edges of this area, make that a proper pathway up to the garden, cover the flat area with gravel, and build an outdoor cooking area and deck here, and probably a sunroom. Okay, now here we are, coming around the side of the house. Hannah and Hideaway are discussing the chickens. Okay, here's a quick addendum. I forgot the big arbutus trunks on the other side of the property. Rocky's sitting on them for scale. They're huge.